to Jasper National Park. We finally made it here after driving 2,000 miles from Anchorage, Alaska. Jasper National Park is the largest park in the Canadian Rockies. It's often overlooked when people are going to Banff and Canmore, but there's just as beautiful lakes and mountains and rivers, so we're super excited to be here. It costs $50 to get into the park for 72 hours, and our first stop here is Maligne Canyon. Maligne Canyon has 6 different bridges you can hike to, so we're currently hiking to the furthest one, which is Bridge 6. And we are hiking here before we head to Maligne Lake, so we're super excited for the next 72 hours in this gorgeous national park.
Okay, I got this. So we just walked all the way to the 6th bridge here at Maligne Canyon. I had read quite a few blogs that suggested not skipping the 6th bridge, but honestly after making it all the way out there, I'm not quite sure why, because in my opinion, the very first bridge that we walked across was the best one. It had a great view of the canyon. It's pretty amazing. But regardless, it was still a great little walk all the way onto the 6th bridge, and now we're on our way to Maligne Lake.
We just finished up at Maligne Lake, which is a place we've been wanting to check out for a really long time, so it was a super good time. It's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit or like 85 degrees Fahrenheit here today in Jasper, so it's a super toasty day. We wanted to canoe out to Spirit Island, gorgeous island that I've seen. That was definitely a place on my list. We got to the canoe rental place and saw that in order to canoe out to Spirit Island, you need about 8 to 9 hours, and we were there at 2 p.m. So it wasn't an option, so we quickly hopped over to the tour boat ticket booth where we got 2 classic tickets for a boat tour that was an hour and a half and took us right out to Spirit Lake, and it left within 15 minutes of us getting our ticket. We took the boat tour. It was super beautiful, very informational tour. We were able to spend about 15 minutes out actually at Spirit Island before we had to get back on the boat. But it does dock and give tourists an opportunity to get off the boat, walk up some steps. There's a little pathway where you can go up and get different views of Spirit Island. So the time flew by. The 15 minutes went so fast before we had to hop back on the boat and then go back to the dock. But it's a super beautiful area. Highly recommend Maligne.
Regarding the pricing differences between the canoeing or the actual cruise, the full day canoe was going to be $205 for the full day, and the cruise is only 89 Canadian dollars for each person. So it was actually cheaper to just take the cruise all the way out there rather than canoeing all the way out there. Plus you don't have to canoe 9 miles back, 9 miles all the way back. So a lot easier. Obviously, you know, if you want that adventure, if you want to do that, then you're going to have to plan for, you know, at least a 10-hour canoeing day.
So now we're going to make a picnic by this cute river spot that we just found as we were driving from Maligne Lake over to Medicine Lake. And we're going to take a quick stop at Medicine Lake to get out, take in the views, get some pictures before we head on to Hinton, where our Airbnb is for the night. just got to Pyramid Lake, our first stop of the day. We were actually here on our trip up 3 years ago. We were so excited about the grizzly bear that we saw driving in that we totally missed the iconic bridge with the island. So this time we made a point to actually drive all the way to the bridge, which is past Pyramid Beach. And we're here at 8:30. We were lucky that we got a moment in between tour groups walking on the bridge because there's already a bunch of tour buses here. But yeah, we saw some elk driving in. We're currently walking around the little island that the bridge leads you out to. And it's such a beautiful morning. The water's so glassy. The mountains are like reflected in the water. It's just beautiful.
Pyramid Lake is tucked right behind Jasper, so it's a super easy drive to make in the morning, which is why we've actually done it right away in the morning 2 different times, because you're able to just go right from Jasper out to Pyramid Lake. And every time we've come out here, we've seen a lot of elk. So it's definitely a great little place to spot wildlife and just come out and enjoy the morning. Do you hear that? Nothing. Peaceful, silent, wonderful. So we just made it to the Edith Cavell Meadows trailhead. Now, when I was planning for this hike, I did not fully understand just how hard it was to get back here. It's only about 20 miles away from Jasper, but it took us nearly 50 minutes to get back here because once you get off the Icefield Parkway road, the road gets super windy and super steep on the way up. During the summer, it's an okay drive to make because everything, perfect conditions. However, if I was here in the winter and it was even just a little bit icy or snowy, I would be having a panic attack right now just thinking about making that drive all the way back down. Because if I were to guess, we probably gained about 2,000 feet of elevation just on our drive up here. However, now that we're out here, we are surrounded by just walls of mountains and a giant glacier. So let's go start this hike and check it out. I see why the Titanic sank when it hit one of these. Just this little dude is actually pretty heavy. So hitting one of those really big ones, it would destroy a ship. This water is really cold. I thought we were gonna swim in it, but no. Absolutely not. So the lake was just a quick walk from the parking lot. So legitimately almost anyone can do this. We've seen, anywhere from young children to older people doing this little hike. So if you're up in this area, I definitely recommend getting out and checking out this lake.
I wish that I could send smell through the camera because this is my favorite smell in the world. Smoky pine forest. The sad news is that because of the fires, it's so smoky that we can barely see the mountains. But the good news is that it's still beautiful. We're still in the Rockies. Smells amazing. The trees are beautiful. And it's actually a really warm day. It's supposed to get to 90 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is hot after coming from Alaska, where it's 50 degrees for the last 2 months and raining. So trying to get acclimated right now, but it's beautiful and the smoke is kind of blocking, I think, some of the heat, so can't complain.
So we're walking back from the little walk out into the meadow. There's 2 different trails or at least it splits off. One goes down to the lake and then one goes back behind it through the meadow. We weren't sure if we were going to do that at first because, like we were saying before, it was pretty smoky, so we weren't sure what the views were going to be like, but ended up being super cute back here. But now we're going to head back to the parking lot and head down this crazy mountain.
So right now I'm at the Jeep. We just got to downtown Jasper, Jordan's in line to pay for the parking. Traffic is nuts here right now. There's so many people everywhere. We're hungry, little hangry. So right now we're just going to walk around Jasper, try to find a bite to eat. Hopefully the lines aren't too long, and then we'll try to vlog some more. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so we just got done eating at the Jasper Brewery, where we ordered poutine, which is like the Canadian classic, and nachos, which were far too big for us to even possibly consider eating all of it.
Poutine is French fries that's covered in gravy and usually some type of cheese. At first we were weirded out by it, but we've grown to love it and enjoy it whenever we're in Canada.
Now we're just gonna take a little walk around downtown Jasper and look at all the cute little shops. All right, so because it's such a hot day out here today, we decided what better way to cool off than go out to a lake and take a dip. So we're out here right now at Maligne Lake.
Right across from Lake Annette is Lake Edith. These are both just right outside of Jasper, so it's a great place to take a quick dip on a hot 90-degree day like today. But parking fills up fast if it's nice and warm. Tons of other people here, but we took a trail past all of the benches kind of into a little area that sticks out, more private over here. Not a sand beach, but we did find a nice opening in the trees to take a little dip.
All right, so update, we now see why everyone was crowded around one very little small section of the lake, and that's because there's actually sand over there, and where we just tried to go, it is super rocky and hurts a lot to walk out there. So we are gonna walk back on over to the beachy area where the crowds of people are. It's the next morning and we're out at a lake that we've seen a lot of people out where they're walking way out into the lake in like what looks like waist deep water. So I'm gonna go walk out there and see how far I can get before the water gets up to my waist.
So the lake is obviously really, really shallow. Jordan is still walking and he's not even knee deep yet. So cool little lake to walk out to. Next, we are headed to an Airbnb that we're really excited to stay at, called the Irish Country Barn. So we're gonna go check into that next. It's been an amazing couple days despite the fire in Jasper. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite thing to do in Jasper is, or if you have any questions about Jasper, feel free to drop those below too. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.